For 28 years, the world thought we were ghosts, 5 nuns swallowed by a stormy night in 1979. Whispers in the small town of Havenwood painted us as runaways chasing forbidden love, or worse, victims of some unspeakable crime. But the truth? It was a nightmare cloaked in holy robes, a predator hiding behind the cross. My name is Grace, and at 70, I'm finally breaking the silence. This isn't a tale of lost faith. It's a story of survival, betrayal, and the unyielding pursuit of justice. Buckle up, because what happened behind those convent walls will shatter everything you thought you knew about power, piety, and the price of speaking out. I was always the quiet one, the observer in the shadows. My mother called it keen insight, a gift for seeing what others missed. Maybe that's why I was the first to spot the darkness creeping into our sacred home. At 16, I entered the St. Mary of Peace Convent in Havenwood, Pennsylvania, drawn by a calling to serve God with every fiber of my being. Those early years were pure bliss, a rhythm of prayer, work, and sisterhood that filled my soul. The convent perched on a hill, like a sentinel over the town, its gray stone walls and manicured gardens a haven of tranquility. We were just 5 nuns under Mother Agnes, a stern but compassionate leader who quoted, "Discipline without love is tyranny, but love without discipline is indulgence." Our days started at dawn with matins, the air thick with incense and whispered devotions. I tended the vegetable garden, my hands in the cool earth connecting me to something divine. Sister Martha, at 65, ruled the kitchen with her legendary bread, crispy crusts and fluffy centers that we baked extra on Wednesdays and Saturdays for the needy. "We feed the body to nourish the soul," she'd say with a wink. Sister Eleanor was our scholar, poring over ancient texts in the library, her memory a vault of Bible verses. "Knowledge is a form of prayer," she'd remind us. Sister Joy lived up to her name, teaching catechism to wide-eyed children who hung on her every word. "A sad saint is a sorry saint," she'd laugh, her joy infectious. And then there was Sister Sarah, the novice, only 19 and shy as a fawn. We bonded in the garden, our silences comfortable and shared. The convent was more than a building. It was the heart of Havenwood. We offered solace to the community, visits to the sick, food for the hungry, a refuge for the weary. Father Thomas, our longtime chaplain, treated us like granddaughters, his guidance gentle and wise. But when he was transferred, everything changed. Enter Father Michael. Tall, commanding, with a voice that boomed from the pulpit like thunder. At first the town adored him, charismatic, eloquent, a man who seemed to embody God's authority. He brought gifts on his first visit, a rare book for Eleanor, seeds for my garden, a statue for the chapel. But I noticed the subtleties, the lingering touches, the invasive questions in confession that probed too deep into personal sins and impure thoughts. His eyes followed the younger sisters like a hawk circling prey. The air grew heavy, joy replaced by tense silences. Sarah started avoiding him, her eyes downcast. Then Mother Agnes fell ill with pneumonia, bedridden and frail. Without her watchful eye, the convent felt exposed. Father Michael's visits multiplied, always with some pretext, borrowing a book, checking on herbs, offering spiritual guidance. One evening in the library, I caught him cornering Sarah, his hand gripping her wrist, her face twisted in fear. That night, sleep evaded me. I confided in Eleanor, who at first met my words with stunned silence, but her analytical mind kicked in. "We need proof," she whispered, and together we started piecing together the pattern, a systematic abuse hidden under the guise of holiness. It wasn't isolated. Father Michael preyed on vulnerability, isolating us with notes. "Sister Sarah, meet me in the sacristy for counsel." His guidance turned sinister, interrogations about chastity that escalated to grabs, threats of damnation if we resisted. Sarah suffered the worst, young and timid. She became his primary target. One night I found her in the pantry, habit askew, whispering, "He says I must obey or I'll burn in hell." My blood boiled. Hatred, a sin I'd never known, surged through me. Joy, too, fell victim, her bruises hidden under sleeves, her laughter silenced. Even Martha, the eldest, sensed the shift, though she clung to denial at first. We tried to fight within the system. I approached Mother Agnes, but she dismissed my impure thoughts as slander against a priest. Desperate, I snuck into town under the guise of buying supplies and waited hours to see the regional bishop. Pouring out our story, notes in hand, I begged for intervention. He listened gravely, promised an investigation, but urged discretion to avoid scandal. Hope flickered until Father Michael stormed the convent 2 nights later, locking Eleanor in a room. Emerging triumphant, he hissed at me, "God punishes liars." The bishop had betrayed us, revealing my complaint and siding with the priest. I was ordered transferred to a remote Montana convent for insubordination. That was the breaking point. Justice within the church was a mirage. "We're leaving," I declared to my sisters in the cellar, our whispers muffled by crates of potatoes. Eleanor hesitated. "We'll look guilty." Joy countered bitterly. "We are hiding from shame the church won't acknowledge." Sarah sobbed. Martha, after a long pause, nodded. "If God wills us to protect each other, so be it." But how? Penniless, isolated, with high walls topped with glass shards? We prayed for a sign, and it came in Mr. Miller, the gruff vegetable supplier. Noticing my distress, he confided his daughter had suffered similarly in another convent, too late to save her. "If you need help, I'm here," he said. Notes hidden in produce crates forged our alliance. He pinpointed a crumbling wall section shaded by an oak, left a rope ladder in the bushes. His cousin in North Carolina offered temporary shelter at a mountain inn. Miller dipped into savings for our journey. We gathered essentials, birth certificates from the archives, medicines, plain clothes smuggled in. Leaving behind rosaries, prayer books, and photos tore at us, but Eleanor insisted, only necessities. Sister Helen, an older nun loyal to Father Michael, caught us planning, but instead of betrayal, she pressed savings into my hand. "I'm too old, too cowardly," she wept, "but you're brave. Go." The night of September 17th, 1979, storm clouds unleashed fury. Rain masked our steps as we shed habits in the cellar, emerging as ordinary women in drenched dresses. Joy scaled first, then me, Sarah, Eleanor, and Martha, her climb agonizing but triumphant. We dashed through mud to Miller's waiting truck, 3 in the cab, Joy and I under a tarp in back. As Havenwood faded, freedom tasted bittersweet. We didn't know our disappearance would spark headlines. Nuns vanish in storm, foul play suspected, or that Father Michael would smear us as rebels. Miller hid us in an abandoned barn 20 miles out. Mattresses, lanterns, canned food. We prayed in a circle, no chapel needed. Over coffee the next morning, Martha smiled. "I slept without fear." Miller brought news, the convent in chaos, police searching highways. We crafted new identities, sisters and cousins orphaned by a flood. I became Linda Peterson, 24-year-old teacher. Sarah, Emily. Eleanor, Catherine. Joy, Rose. Martha, Millie. Civilian clothes felt alien. Pants, blouses, mirrors reflecting strangers. Sam, Miller's cousin, arrived with a furniture truck, concealing us amid boxes for the drive to North Carolina. At his inn, wife Mary offered silent sanctuary. "You're safe here." We stayed 3 months, healing in isolation. News trickled in, our escape branded as scandal. Mother Agnes dead from a heart attack upon discovery. Guilt gnawed, but Father Michael's slander fueled resolve. With forged documents, we moved to Cleveland, Ohio, sewing uniforms in a factory. The secular world overwhelmed. Buses, banks, supermarkets. But we adapted. Nights, we prayed intimately, faith unshaken. Years blurred. Factory promotions came. We bought a house. But losses mounted. Martha stroked out in 1983, buried as Millie Peterson. No honors for the nun she was. We relocated to Charlotte for Eleanor's new role. In 1994, a newspaper photo of Father Michael, celebrating 30 years, hailed a hero, ignited rage. He'd risen to Monsignor while we hid. Eleanor withdrew, then revealed cancer in 1997. On her deathbed, "Promise you'll reveal the truth someday." She died, buried as Catherine, her notebook of evidence, my inheritance. Joy's heart failed in 2003, leaving Sarah and me. Sarah married, had kids as Emily Rodriguez, building a life. I sewed in a shop, but Eleanor's words haunted. In 2006, Father Michael's stroke signaled vulnerability. Then, 2007, Father John, new assistant priest in Havenwood, whose sister, a nun, died young. A sign? I returned, confronting him. "I'm Sister Grace." Shock turned to belief as I shared our story, Eleanor's notes sealing it. Father John rallied support. A progressive bishop knelt begging forgiveness. Archives yielded a 1977 letter proving prior knowledge ignored. Monsignor Michael stormed in, denying all, but evidence mounted. I spoke publicly at a community center, unveiling abuses. Skeptics raged, but victims emerged. Ex-nuns, parishioners, and seminarians. The church investigated. He was defrocked, fleeing in disgrace. Today, the convent is the St. Mary of Peace Center, aiding abuse survivors. Over 3,000 helped. Sarah joined me. Her grandkids call me Aunt Grace. Father Michael died alone in 2015. Stone benches honor my sisters. Their spirits whisper peace. Through it all, I learned faith isn't blind obedience. It's questioning evil, even in holy places. Silence shields abusers. Voices shatter chains. Forgiveness frees the soul, not the guilty. Pain forges strength. Community heals. At 70, my voice echoes. It's never too late for truth. Live boldly. Speak out. Your story could save lives.